Hi, my name is Barry Doyle. I'm a lawyer located in Skokie, Illinois, handling nursing home abuse and neglect cases throughout the state of Illinois. I'm also the author of Built to Fail, which is a free report which explains how the nursing home business model inevitably produces unnecessary injuries and deaths for nursing home residents. Today I'm here to talk about a citation that the Illinois Department of Public Health recently issued to Mayfield Care Center in Chicago after a resident there was rolled out of bed and ended up suffering a dislocated shoulder. So the care planning process is the basic process by which the routine care that residents need get delivered to them on a day-to-day basis. Essentially, it's a six-part process. It begins with an assessment of the resident's needs. It goes from there into the actual care plan itself, which is a written document which sets forth the various steps that need to be taken on a day-to-day, shift-to-shift basis, and it assigns those steps to various members of the nursing home staff. From there, that care plan has to be communicated to the members of the nursing staff charged with carrying it out. Then it needs to actually be implemented on a day-to-day, shift-to-shift basis. And finally, its effectiveness has to be reevaluated on an ongoing basis to make sure that it meets the care needs of the residents and that it actually fits any kind of changes in the resident's condition if any arise after the care plan is developed. And finally, it needs to be revised if it turns out to be either ineffective in practice or if there are changes in the resident's condition that warrant it. But the whole point of the care plan is to literally come up with a series of steps that need to be taken on a day-to-day, shift-to-shift basis to keep the resident safe and healthy. And in this case, the resident was assessed as needing two-person staff assist for bed mobility, which is essentially being turned and repositioned inside a bed. And most often this happens as part of incontinence care. Most often it's something that needs to be done with turning and repositioning to avoid developing bed sores. But when a resident is assessed as needing a two-person assist with positioning themselves in bed, usually it's because there's some type of trunk or musculoskeletal weakness which leaves the resident at risk for actually being rolled out of bed. And we've written a number of blog posts over the last year and a half where residents have in fact been rolled out of bed when you have a one person doing a two-person job. And essentially what happens, the resident gets rolled up to their side and they basically roll away from the staff member who is trying to care for them, go over the edge of the bed, and either end up suffering, commonly a broken hip, sometimes a brain bleed. This can be a very, very serious injury. And when you are doing two-person assist, you really need to have one staff member on one side of the bed and the other one on the other one, so that whole sensation of having the resident roll away from the staff member just can't happen. This was a situation where, as usual, you have one person doing a two-person job, and in fact, once the resident was rolled onto her side, the staff member actually left the room to go get some additional towels. When she did that, the resident actually rolled off the edge of the bed, ended up suffering a dislocated shoulder. This obviously something that was something that could have been a much more significant injury, and often is commonly a broken hip or a brain bleed. The care planning process is one which, really, if it's done right, should prevent a lot of accidental injuries to residents. However, frequently what we find is that there's a nicely written care plan that just isn't carried out on a day-to-day basis. And in this case, it really was a failure to follow those basic steps that were set forth in the care plan that resulted in this resident going over the edge of the bed and suffering a really unnecessary injury. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you have any questions regarding it or any issue regarding nursing home abuse and neglect, please feel free to call us. The number is 312-263-1080. You can visit us on the web at www.idph.org. Accident Law Illinois. If you reach out to us, there's no charge for contacting us. There's no obligation to hire us if you do call. Hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching.